Welcome back to the channel, people. KG is back. This stream, let me just say something, yeah. And so from people that saw the title of the first title of this video was going to be very different. The original title was Jesse Marsch is on the hot seat. What should Leeds United do next? And bear in mind, people, I was going to do this stream maybe 3-4 hours ago. That shows you just how quickly things change in football. That 3-4 hour ago stream would have been old news by now. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. T85, shout out to you, man, and hello to everyone in the chat so far. Thank you for liking the video already, and please continue to hit the like button as you come in, or if you're watching the replay. We got stuff to talk about. We had stuff to talk about anyway, because I'll be honest, the defeat against Forest is still on my mind. I'm not gonna lie, it's so disappointing. And for me, it kind of started with the lineup, but we'll go into all of this on this stream. We got time today. And unfortunately, Lodi, yeah, love Bielsa, but would prefer us to go to a young upcoming manager like Carlos or company. Well, I'm going to have to speak about Bielsa in this stream, but this will be one of the last times for me, because unless he does get reappointed, which I do not see happening, I don't want to speak about Bielsa anymore. I can't believe just how many people have asked me personally in my DMs on comments about Bielsa coming back. I just can't believe how many people want him back. It doesn't make any sense to me, but man, it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, well, I'll talk about the reasons why. For me personally, I'm not talking for you. I talk for myself. Christoph, never a dull moment. It never is with Leeds United, is it? It's never a dull moment. Even us losing the game the way we did yesterday wasn't dull, because we should never have lost it like in that manner. It's just so. It was just so disheartening, man. So disheartening. Terry saying, "Afternoon, KG. Hope we can get Gallardo in." He's one of the two names that I've got listed personally, and I had previously before as well. He was one of the two. So yeah, I mean, Bob's here saying, "Hi, KG. Glad he's finally gone. Corbin doesn't interest me at all. Big risk." I mean, I'll say this, Bobs, and I say it with transfers, managerial appointments, they're all risks. They're all big risks. Obviously, some are bigger risks than others, just from the evidence and history they've got. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. And the one thing that does concern me with Corberan is that he does have real personal relationships with some of the old guard here. I don't like that. I don't like that straight off the bat. I want somebody. The next person that I want coming in, I want somebody who doesn't care about being a fan favorite. And I know that doesn't suit Leeds United fans, because you all want to love the manager. You want to love everything about the club. I need somebody who's going to come in and be cutthroat. I want them to see if someone's not good enough, if something's not working, that they'll change it. And we even saw yesterday again with Jesse Marsch, in the changes made by Forest at halftime. He didn't react to him. Forest, Cooper saw the threat. He saw Nico Williams was getting ripped apart by Nanto. He brings on Aurier, moves Nico Williams to the left. We did nothing. But listen, Tasha saying, "I want someone in that is ruthless." Me too. I just don't want any more people pleasers. And unfortunately, when you're a Leeds United manager, because it's a one club city, and when you're walking around Leeds, you'll have the locals talking to you. "Oh yeah, I love Ross McCormack. Oh, I love Liam Cooper." It kind of gets embedded. And I said it on yesterday's stream. Something that Jesse said was concerning to me was that up until the Leeds job, he didn't have personal relationships with his players. He wasn't interested so much in the personality. Whereas when he took the Leeds job, he went all in with the personality and personal relationships. Nah, you can have both, but you've got to be ruthless at the same time. But for me, I would prefer someone well ruthless than a lovey-dovey manager. I'm sick of it now. I don't want any friend kind of managers. I want somebody who's interested in winning, not personal relationships, who wants to win. Let's have a look. Keen Jelly, tremendous. Here's hoping or add a succession plan which includes a prime available replacement. Our immediate run of fixtures demands this. Will we have in place this week? I think we will. I think we will, because once again, you don't sack somebody without having it in the back of your mind that this guy might need replacing. And I think just from yesterday alone, there's been other results, and we will go through them as well. But yesterday alone, there was no change in the formation. The stronger players were on the bench in light of people that should have been on the bench yesterday, who ended up starting. Listen, yeah, it just wasn't good. And that's from when I saw the lineup yesterday, and I put Weston McKennie's face as somebody who whose face looked like what I was like when I saw that lineup. I just thought, this isn't good. But man, what a day. What a day. But yeah, let me just read out the statement from Leeds. I'm sure you've already, but just for content purposes, of course. Leeds United can confirm head coach Jesse Marsch has been relieved of his duties. Jesse joined the club February 2022 and was instrumental in keeping the club in the Premier League on the final day of the season. A lot of his backroom staff, Rennie Marich, Cameron Tashak, Pierre Barou, have also left. And yeah, the process of appointing a head coach is underway. Yeah, and that's another thing as well. I see a lot of people now trying to say it wasn't Jesse that kept us up. It was Rafinha magic. It was it was the players and everything else like that. But I'm not going to remix stuff here. This is not going to happen on this channel. We're not going to do that. He got the results, just like we had a tremendous 3-0, beautiful result against Chelsea earlier this year. That was one of the best matches I've seen in recent memory. We're not going to do that. But overall, the results weren't good. They weren't good. And the play hasn't been good as well. The play's been better, but the results haven't been good. 4 wins in 20 says it all. You haven't really got much to stand on. V Stan is saying, how do you think Adams and the boys will take this? Hope they won't down tools. They're not going to down tools. V Stan, what I will say to that is players know that managers' jobs are very, very fragile. Weston McKennie as well. Let's take Weston McKennie, for instance. He's come in very recently, and he spoke of Jesse Marsch when he came in, but that's not the only reason he would have come in. He would have come in more so probably for Tyler Adams. They know that things change very, very quickly in football, and if it's not working, a change might be afoot. I don't think it will affect Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, none of the American boys. I don't think it affects them one bit. They will probably just be looking at trying to climb the table, getting Leeds secure. And I think, and that's something as well. Somebody said yesterday, even regarding the result against Forest, that I would see things positively still. I do, because of the squad that we've got. There's no way that this squad, the midfield we got, the attack we've got, should be 17th in this league. There's no way. So, you know what I mean? Listen, hey, Chris, let's not go there. Gerrard, Lampard, I've seen these ones. Benitez, no, miss me with all of those names. Benitez, Lampard, Gerrard, no thank you. No thank you. I see a lot of Gallardo shouts. Dan Savage here saying, Click and Pablo have liked the tweet on Jesse being sacked. Does that tell you the players were not having him? It tells you that the players that, listen, not every player likes the manager that they're playing for. It's a myth. I think that some people think that all the players and managers just sit around in a circle, kumbaya, and always and everything great. There will be players that wouldn't have got along with Jesse Marsch, of course not. And especially when you're not playing, you're definitely going to see the worst in the manager, like Matthijs Klick. But this is the other thing as well, when we go back to the whole Bielsa thing, because even Fabrizio put something out as well. Let me just get the tweet up by Fabrizio. Can't believe still having to talk about Bielsa in 2023, man. It's insane. People need to move on. But listen, more on Leeds United. Marcelo Bielsa return is described as unlikely at this stage. Huge respect for what he did in the past, but plans look different now as things stand. Leeds are speaking to other candidates while Jesse Marsch has been fired. And now, let me just get into the whole Bielsa thing. And like I say, this will be the last time that I speak on this because it's boring. And if you want me to speak on it again, send a super chat in the future because I'm not doing it again. Bielsa, people have talked about down tools. A lot of the players down tools on Bielsa. Let's not forget, and we're not going to forget because I'm going to remind you right now. There was a string of bad results that we had under Bielsa last season. Okay, let's go back to January, the end of January, the 1-0 loss to Newcastle at home. Up until then, Newcastle hadn't won a game away from home. They came to our ground and they get the 3 points. The next one, let's start the February one, as people want to talk about February as we are there now. 3-3 draw against 10-man Villa. Yeah, and then the floodgates open. 3-0 against Everton away. 4-2 at home against Man United. 6-0 to Liverpool. 4-0 at home against Spurs. And people want that back. Not only that as well, people, in terms of players that didn't want to play for Bielsa anymore, there's also the man marking thing. And I just remember so many games. And let me give you the one example that sticks out in my mind more than anything. And you can go back and watch it because it's there in the highlights. Leeds versus Arsenal when we had a depleted team. I remember Lacazette moving his centre back because it's man marking. He moved his centre back from the centre back area up to the halfway line. He then tells the player, Arsenal advancing player, to stop because he's got the centre back here, and he knows that centre back isn't going to follow the danger. He's following his man. What Arsenal do then is proceed to score with a wide ass gap in the central of defence. Guys, who wants that back again? Seriously, leave them. What I always try and say to people is separate the memory of Bielsa. It was a wonderful, wonderful 3 years under Bielsa. Wonderful. Like some of the best football we'll ever see. But the final months, everything started to change. Not only was he wasn't changing, his tactics weren't changing. He was very, very rigid in what he was doing. He started to change in press conferences as the pressure got on him. He was starting to throw players under the bus when he never used to do that. And I'm talking about Drame and Somerville. He never did that with Samu Sayus, who wanted to leave us before the window even opened. Nothing to say about him. Wouldn't say anything about Kiko Casilla following his charge. But then all of a sudden he had words to say. Guys, you've got to separate the wonderful 3 years we had to the torrid results that we were suffering. And listen, as well, by the way, our goal difference at this point, at the end of February last season was like a minus point. Because if we had the same amount of points as Burnley, say, we would have been down because of the terrible, terrible goal difference we had. That's all I'm going to say. You can disagree, keep it respectful, but I'm just giving you what happened with Bielsa in the final months of his reign. Love the guy to death for what he did, bringing us back, but we need to move on, people. That's it. That's all I'll say. Let's have a look. Keen Jelly. Keen Jelly. Yes. Cheers for your thoughts, KG. No problem. That's what I'm here for. Frank Seagull said earlier, feel very relieved. I like the guy, but it just wasn't working. Yeah. Gavin saying no more Netflix or blankets for lad. Yeah, I've seen this blankets thing as well. Guys, when you're winning, things like blankets on the bench, no one cares. No one cares. But because we haven't been winning, people are now starting to pick at absolutely everything. If players want blankets on the bench, give them blankets. I don't care about that. I just want winning. I want winning results. I want winning results. But let's have a look. This stream, I mean, it's amazing how this has happened. I mean, and listen as well, what we have to talk about as well, let's give credit to the board again, much like their lessons learned from last season's January window where they did nothing, regardless of whether, at the time Bielsa wanted players or not. They've acted earlier, much earlier than this time last year, where we leave it until the confidence is just all drained from the players and everything else like that with 12 games to go. They've acted earlier. So again, another lesson learned. And somebody said as well, I think, Maya 39 Maya, he's always got something to say, but shout out to you, man. He was saying that the 49ers would protect Jesse Marsch. And I replied to him and I said, the 49ers won't protect Jesse Marsch, they'll protect their investment. So the 49ers are probably in partnership with Radrizzani with this decision to let Jesse Marsch go. Let's have a look. I mean, D Turley here has just said, give credit to the board for what they hired Marsch, but they also hired Bielsa too, D. And I know you love Bielsa. So, you can't have it both ways. Yes, it hasn't gone right, but hey, you got to try again. Trav here saying that, KG, I don't think Corcoran is the answer. Has Family Vibes FC written all over it instead of looking for a quality European manager. Yeah, that's just the thing I'm worried about, man. He knows these players personally. And because when you're the coach assistant, you're going to know him even better, aren't you? And obviously, some of these guys have got the gift of the gab where they can talk coaches into playing them. We need to get rid of that. And that's what I was looking for when we lost Bielsa. I wanted somebody who was going to be more cutthroat, and I thought Marsch would be it. And he ended up just getting into the family vibes. Can't have it. William Moore with the super chat. Thank you. We definitely need to go down the route of a world-class manager again. No more of these unproven ones. Yeah, I mean, listen, as well for me, Liam, it doesn't matter if they're Premier League based. You know me, Prem proven hype. Don't care about that. As long as they're the right man for the job. That's the main thing for me. I mean, if you want Prem proven, I heard Steve Bruce is available. We need to be careful with that whole Prem proven thing. You go for the best candidate. De Zerbi at Brighton. I bet no one would have taken him, and look what he's done. He's actually doing better with the players that Graham Potter did well with. He's even making them more potent. They're a better team under De Zerbi easily as well. They're scoring 3-4 goals. They weren't doing that under Potter. They were winning, drawing a lot of games, but they weren't scoring this amount of goals. He's unlocked that. That's what you get from a quality coach, and that's what we need. I wonder if Gasparini will come. Eh? I wonder. I'd love him. But thank you for the super chat, Liam Moore, and and shout out as well to Karen Curtin for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated. Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, Mr. Ripper. No, what to Rafa? Yeah, no Rafa Benitez, man. Nothing like that. No, thank you. No, thank you. Somebody just put in Chris Yank, give me that rhymes manager or him manager who doesn't even have his license, football manager legend. Will Still, shout out to Will Still, man. Hey, I rate it very highly. He's only 30 years old. And he's doing his thing over in League One, he's doing his thing, but they keep on getting fined 22 grand a game because he hasn't got his full licenses, but he's doing well over there, fluent in French and English. Yeah, he's a good man. Exactly. What a legend. What a legend. Football manager. I feel like I should get a manager job for my football manager CV. I really do. People saying go get Pep in the summer. Yeah, Man City like going down 3 leagues. Crazy stuff, isn't it? With Man City, by the way, just quickly over 100 breaches of financial fair play. It's going to be interesting to see what the punishment will be. It'll be interesting. Robbie here saying, has Ayling played his last game for Leeds? I don't think so, but this should definitely be his last season. I don't want to see Ayling here next season, not one bit. He has been, and I was going to mention this because we're going to just like go over a bit of the Forest game, and I guess we can. He's just been defensively a nightmare this season. Not only just yesterday for the Forest, his lack of engagement, him being stuck up the pitch and leaving a big gap at right back. I mean, the Spurs game obviously sticks out because as soon as he came on, it all went to pot. But again, also, that was on Jesse Marsch for taking off Rucker and putting on a defender and letting Tottenham get control of midfield. There's just been so many things with Jesse where I was hoping he would get it right, but it wasn't coming. And I'm glad the board have acted now so we can move on because once again, this squad should not be 17th. No way. And I think that we will start climbing the table. I've got Tobes here, mocking me saying the American dream is over. But at this point, you've got to say, with the wins that we've had this season and the lack of wins that we've had, I should say, that it was probably the coach that was holding us back the whole time overall, as well as some of the players, of course. But and again, people always go back to what I said at the start, and I stick by it. I did say that I would be willing for a season of pain. I was after last season, last day heroics of staying up. I didn't want that again. I was looking for a boring, mediocre, mid-table season, and you could do that with the players that we've got, even though our defense isn't the best. But I wasn't looking forward to a season of misery. And unfortunately, when you're coming on here after every game and you're not getting wins, it becomes a little miserable. You try and find saving graces, but even I yesterday, much like after the Spurs game when Bielsa was, gone, I was like, I don't know what else this guy can do. I don't think he can do it. He's got the tools now and he's not using them. But yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, what's everyone saying? I mean, come on now, David. Solskjaer for Leeds. Let's not do this. We have Kevin. There's 18 league games left for us. Anyway, there's 18. Let's have a look. And for people asking, Corberon is on the list, but we don't know how big that list is. Yeah. Let me just see. Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff doesn't matter anymore. I was just looking there in terms of Jesse Marsch, and if he was to continue, it was just becoming untenable, wasn't it? In terms of we're always looking at blocks of games for this guy, and it's because he doesn't get wins in any of the blocks of games. Then we go, okay, well, we didn't get the wins required in this 3. Let's look at the next 3 games. And for me, that's just an untenable way of managing, both for Jesse and fans to look forward to. So it's definitely the right choice at this point. Resident Alien, Resident Alien for the super chat. Thank you. At least Jesse got his LinkedIn profile sorted. What's Darko Milanic up to these days? Would Jarsel from Salzburg be a good shout? I don't know much about him, so I can't say. I can't say. But thank you for the super chat. Nah, Donjay, no. Hassan Hoodle, no. The man that cried after he beat Liverpool. No, thank you. No, no. Not having that. But Don J did say earlier as well, by the way, which I did start, was I was very much in the give Jesse some time camp, but starting with McKennie, Somerville, and Rutter on the bench against Forest was almost criminal. Yeah, that's what I mean. Some players that belong on the bench should stay there and leave those guys on the bench unless it's a rotation thing. But no, you start with your strongest team possible. At least put the three in midfield away from home as well. Now you got to give yourself the best chance, and you didn't do that yesterday. Um, let's have a look. Emmett saying, "Hi KG. I wouldn't be surprised if Orta hasn't already had a conversation with the next manager." No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be surprising. In fact, I'll probably expect it, Emmett. I think that just like when Bielsa got sacked, they were talking to Marsch a week before. It happens in a lot of football clubs. It's sometimes you see clubs, they'll sack a manager and then the next morning there'll be a manager in place. They haven't just called the manager that evening and say, "Hey, do you fancy this? Let's hash out a legal contract and you come in tomorrow morning." It doesn't work like that. So there'll definitely be there'll be shouts for him. There'll be talks with the new manager. Nick Matthews saying, Andrew's saying, for me, mention it further up. And if you agree, he would be good with this squad. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a risk, but every appointment is one. But he's coming from the Scottish League, and I guess some people would say, look what happened with Gerrard and when he went to Villa. But yeah, we just need a better coach. We need an all-round coach. I said it yesterday with Jesse. He's more of your motivational kind of coach like that. He's not an improve a player coach. He's more of a let me get these guys up for the game and go. But you could see as well, by the way, and that was something else that was alarming. Even he wasn't believing what he was saying last night after the game. He wasn't believing the words he said, and that's when I knew it was like, I think he's waiting for the bullet. I think he's waiting for the chop because he was talking about it's up for me to get the guys to play better. He didn't believe it, people. I mean, this is just my opinion. He didn't believe what he was saying. So, Dale Still, to me, Tuchel makes sense, guys. If we could get Tuchel or Pochettino, as a lot of people keep saying, then you have to give the board one hell of a piece of credit. You would have to give them so much credit because you're talking about two bosses here that are looking for Champions League type of clubs, and we're certainly not there yet. But yeah, if they get one of those, Tuchel or Pochettino, that will be a super mulch stream. Jacob is saying, confused why Armas is still here. He's essentially Marsch light. Well, they're still wondering what to do with him. And again, credit given for that because they only appointed Chris Armas, a couple of weeks ago, if that. That shows you just how serious they are moving because before, if we're talking a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, they would have probably kept on with this, but they're saying, no, we need to make changes now. The mini league that we're in, by the way, is just so tight. Even Southampton are looking at possibly replacing Nathan Jones again. And I don't even think he's been there for 10 games. But he's under so much pressure and he's coming out with such, I mean, Nathan Jones, you remember him in the Championship anyway when he was with Luton. He's coming out with such statements that some of the players are apparently not getting on with Nathan Jones, that Southampton are looking to replace him. So we can't stand still, and I'm glad that we haven't stood still on this one. Oh, that's a real good one. Let me just get that comment there. Let me start that one. But yeah, listen, Big Brother is saying, thank you for the super chat, Big Brother. I'm pleased Marshall's gone. Let's get Tuchel in. Listen, if we got him in, great. We've got Paul. We're in the Premier League. There's potential to go up the table, so there's definitely scope to do that. But I don't know, man. I think these guys are looking for tip-top jobs, so I wouldn't hold your breath for it. Mr. P with a super chat. No former Premier League managers. I want someone who's proven in the top league on the continent. Good to see 49ers protecting their investment, Leeds United, and that's it. They've protected their investment. There was never going to be a protect Jesse Marsch thing like a lot of fans thought. It wasn't going to happen. The 49ers injected the money in January because they know how important it is to stay in the Premier League. They don't want to manage or own a championship club. There's no money in it. Our game was on Sunday on the USA Network. Once again, there's more money involved if you're in the Premier League. It's clear as day as well. Frank Siegel saying, in a way, I think Jesse will be relieved as well. I said it a couple of weeks ago when I asked if Jesse Marsch should still be here, that the guy looks like he's aged about 20 years in this year. He came in looking pretty fresh. He looked very full of life. When you compare it to yesterday's post-game interview, he looked drained of all of that. He looked drained of it. So I do agree, Frank. I know people don't like talk about managers losing their jobs, but he'll get a payout with it, and I'm sure he won't have trouble finding another one. I'm sure his agency will get onto that. But yeah, I think he'll be relieved as well, because I think even he knew he couldn't do anything more. If his message wasn't getting across by now, it never was. Let's have a look. Oh, Blaze Ray, Mourinho has had enough in Italy. Oh, yeah, I take Jose Mourinho all day long. But I think Jose Mourinho recently reached out to Chelsea. I think he's testing the waters to see if Graham Potter's going to last long there. So I think Jose Mourinho has got his sight set on the Premier League again, but possibly with Chelsea. So again, I wouldn't hold my breath. But if we had Jose Mourinho here, oh man, oh, I would love that. You have no idea. You have no idea. Chris Brooks saying Jesse was unqualified for the job. I feel sorry for him. He should never have gotten the job. Poor appointment. Well, what I'll say to that, Chris Brooks, is he was definitely qualified. From if you put up what Jesse Marsch has done over the last couple of years compared to Leeds, you would probably say that Jesse Marsch was taking a step down coming to Leeds. He's the one that's managing the Champions League. He's the one that's won trophies. He's done more than Leeds United in the recent history. So it wasn't that he was unqualified. It just obviously wasn't the right fit, and the Leeds United board have acted accordingly in that. Lee Water saying now we can stay up and win the FA Cup. Good times. Yeah, listen, again, I'm not. We are in a relegation battle quite clearly, but with the players that we've got, I do see us moving up the table, and that's what just made the Forest defeat yesterday just so deflating. Especially as far as they didn't even move out of first gear. They were basically in park yesterday, and they still managed to beat us 1-0. And then they're grittying and Millie rocking all over their dressing room after. I rate it. I wish our team was doing it, but we're not. We lost 1-0 to a very placid Forest team who got the goal they needed, and then they just cut off our supply, especially in the second half. So yeah, we do need a manager, a coach that will go against another coach tactically. We need somebody who will make the changes, tactical changes, and not just like for like, or keep on taking off Mark Rucker and leaving a gap in the midfield. Yeah, we just need somebody who's a better tactician, and unfortunately, that wasn't Jesse's strong suit. It was more motivational. Chris Yankee saying, "I love the revisionist history of some people. Jesse didn't work out, but that doesn't mean he's a buffoon who doesn't know how to manage." And that's basically what I've tried to say throughout this stream, Chris Yank. We do things differently on here. It's a football stream. It's a Leeds United stream, but we talk football, and we're not going to sugarcoat it or try and rewrite history in terms of what people did and didn't do. So yeah, I agree with that. Nice guy, and I wish him well, but yeah, we need to move on. Much like we did from Bielsa, now we need to move on from Marsch and go in the right direction. Kevin saying Jesse did not get us relegated, and we still have a FA Cup run. Yeah. Score prediction. We'll do that tomorrow. Sam saying here, would Corcoran get another job in the Prem? Not my first choice at all. Yeah, he's not my first choice as well. And I think there's a few that have just joined the stream, and it's just purely for it's not it being a risk, but just for the relationships that he's had with previous players. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. He knows those old guard too well. Yeah, I just don't like it unless he's going to be cutthroat. No. I mean, for me, I'll just give the names that I had earlier. By the way, before this even came out, I had names earlier on. Let me just get them. One was Gallardo, obviously, and the other one was Tedesco. Those would be two. Both can operate the 4-3-3, and are progressive managers. I don't want a pragmatic manager. I want one that has the right balance. So I want someone that will use our attacking options that we've got, but will make us more solid defensively. And those two are in the mold of those kind of managers. But listen, we'll see in the coming days who we're going to get. It's going to be very, very interesting. Dtar saying McKennie was misled. I would say Aubameyang for Chelsea was misled, Dtar. McKennie will still be playing here. He will still be playing as a hopefully a first choice midfielder. I definitely see that. Whereas Aubameyang was signed under Tuchel and is now he's not even in the Champions League squad for Chelsea. That's being misled, people. I think McKennie, he knew the situation. The players aren't stupid. He would have liked Jesse probably to stay, but you go with the next manager. And I still think that we will sign him in the summer for sure if it works out. Louis saying, KG, how about a manager who sits back, boring football, and I don't want that. It's too early for that as well. It's way too early for that. We've got the tools to get the right balance, and that's what Jesse struggled with all season long. He struggled with getting the balance right from not having these fullbacks that aren't real fullbacks pushing up, leaving us light in defense, and then overcrowding the midfield area. He just didn't get the balance right overall. He just didn't get the balance right overall. Gabe with a super chat. Thank you for that, Gabe. Positive, the squad is very good, and most managers looking at the job will be happy to walk into it. Absolutely. You know, when you compare it as well, Gabe, as well, and everyone else to the Everton job where Sean Dyche walked in, but players weren't going. The fans have got a lot of unrest there. Fans putting the board in the headlocks and, board having to stay away. We're nowhere near that, and our squad is in much better condition than at Everton. I know everyone's gassed about Everton's win against Arsenal, and it was a good win. But our squad is in much better shape. And every squad, by the way, people, something else that I need to say, every squad, especially down the bottom where we are, has deficiencies in them. Everton will probably look at our attack and go, oh, I would like that attack that we've got. But then they'd probably look at our defense and go, yeah, I'll leave that. But that's the same with every squad down the bottom of the table, even the top, Arsenal, top of the league. But if certain players go out of their team, if Saliba has to go out and they bring in Rob Holding, there's a problem. You know what I mean? So there's deficiencies in every squad, but we just have to work with ours and make it as solid as possible for the defense not to be easily penetrated. And a big pause on that one, but that's the only word I can think of at this time. Jamie saying Everton won't go. It's going to be an interesting battle, isn't it? But I just want us out of the battle. I want us out of the battle. Emmett saying going for Bielsa is like getting back with an old flame, never as good as the first time. Exactly, yeah. I mean, listen, you might have a nice first night or two, but then you start to remember, oh, this is why we broke up. Facts though, innit? Facts. Andy saying any manager coming to Leeds now will see our squad and think they've hit the jackpot now. Exciting challenge ahead. Absolutely. And it's, first of all, the squad is in much better shape than it was last January. By far. It's easily better than last January. And the fan base, One Club City, you have the chance to get Leeds at the table. We're still in the FA Cup. Guys, it's a brilliant job to have. It's a brilliant job. We're only going to go up from here. This has got the potential to be clipped, but we do. We're only going to go up from here. Only going to go up from here. It's still going to be a battle to get out this mini league because everyone just seems to be winning one week, losing another, or us just losing there. But listen, it's going to be nice to get a win on the board soon. It's going to be nice to get a win on the board soon. Adam is asking people, does anyone else wish we could have done this a week ago to get Dyche? For me personally, no, Adam. That's just my preference, though. I do like him as a guy. I think he's a good guy kind of thing. But as a long-term manager of Leeds United, not for me. Not for me. But other people may feel differently, of course. Put that in the comments after. Listen, guys, there's just over 1,000 people in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Please hit a like on the video. Best way to support the channel. And if you're not subscribed, please do that as well. I know, Bill, famous last words, but I've got to say it, Bill. I've got to tell you how I feel and how I feel about this squad as it is, even with the defensive issues that we've got, is that it should be doing a lot better than it is. You know what I mean? So we will be going up from here. And then another, good summer window where we concentrate on the defense, which unfortunately Jesse Marsch did allude to in his last press conference, that probably will be the next bit we look at. I think we only get up from there. I think we only go up from there. South London's finest is saying, KG, do you think Mancini will take the job? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if is he still at Italy? I don't know if he's still the Italian national manager. He might actually just prefer doing that. Might just prefer doing that. Yeah, and yes, stay away from Benitez 100%. 100%. Pardon me. Uh, oh my God, what is this suggestion? It's Geronimo. Dallas interim manager with Cooper and Ailing as assistants. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Geronimo, that's not even tremendous. Michelle saying now I can see us ending up above 13th position. Yeah, I still think that we'll finish around there, Michelle. I did cheat and say 13th or 14th. I'm going to stick with that. I just think that our squad overall is just that much, not that much better, but it's just better than some of the teams around us. It's just about getting the results in. And unfortunately, 4 wins in 20 does not cut it. We haven't had enough celebration streams, people. We haven't had enough celebration streams this season, people. It's been bad. And when I say a season of pain, I'm talking you draw a couple, you lose a couple, but then you win one, draw one, maybe win another, then lose another two, maybe three, but not this kind of form that we've been in. No chance. Ugh. Sam could pinch Allegri from Juve. No, now that would be tricking McKennie. No Allegri for me, people. No, no, thank you. Too many complaints from players about him as well. There's players that literally come out on podcasts and interviews saying just how much they don't enjoy playing under him. So no, no, thank you for me. Uh, Mike Adams. Hey, Mike, come on now. Fair in my spec. I don't wear glasses, but you can't deny. Listen, our midfield three is as good as anybody's in the bottom half, and it's better than some bigger clubs as well. Liverpool would kill for our midfield three right now, and our front line, that whichever combination you want, come on now. Yeah, I mean, listen, Jamie Kerr saying Bamford's interview yesterday was telling, but Bamford also has to pull his weight. I'm not going to go back on what I said and say that he's done. But that performance yesterday reminded me of Bamford pre Jorginho signing for the club. Wasn't good. But if he's relied on in the next game and the game after, he's got to do better than that. Jorginho for me should start just for fluidity in that front three. I just like the fluidity that we'd have Somerville, Nanto, and Jorginho, just how they just interrupt defenses. But if Bamford is going to play, he has to do better than what he did yesterday against Forest. First touch, I mean, that first touch yesterday, whether it got a touch off the defender or not, was garbage. And listen, yeah, he just needs to do better. Yeah, Lewis, it was ugly, wasn't it? Real ugly. What we saying? Let me just check the news feeds. Let me just see if anything is being said. Man, so many people. I've been messaged so many times today, people. It's a madness. It's been so mad. Uh, let's have a look. Oh no, don't do that. Yeah, I don't see any other links at this point. I've got to be honest. I don't see any other links from people that I look at. So yeah, Dirty Leeds is saying, "Who is your man, KG?" Yeah, Gallardo for me, Tedesco, one of those two, I'd be happy with. But I just assume that the board will look at this in detail, or have looked at this in detail, and will come up with the right solution for this. Well, not right solution, but the best solution possible. So yeah, we just have to wait and see, people. Those two would be my choices, but yeah, I, I I don't know. It's not my job, is it? I'm just a fan. I just want somebody who is going to be stern, change things when things need to be changed, and not have favorites and not care. This is the most important thing for me. One of the most important things: not care about being a fan favorite. Don't care about that. I want you to care about winning over being loved by the fans. That's what it is with me. David Coleman, have you seen the Vincent Company link? Big gamble. No, I haven't seen the link. Not from anyone credible, David. I haven't seen it, but I don't see why Vincent Company would leave. Have you seen what he's doing with Burnley right now? Have you seen it? The guy's like 50 points clear of third place. They could literally play in second gear for the rest of the season and come up. And you've got to think as well with Burnley, they're giving him the tools to do what he can, and he's going to get them promoted. I just don't see him leaving that job now and coming to Leeds, if we're being honest. So yeah, as much as Corberon would be a risk, so would Vincent Company, but he's not leaving that job. He's done too well for Burnley. You've got to see that through. You've got to see that through. Michelle Lee is saying Alex Ferguson. You know what it is with Michelle. You bring up a name, and this is a point I've been wanting to make on here, just in regards to players and things like that. No matter if you how much you dislike Manchester United or anything else like that, Sir Alex knew when to get rid of players, and he'd do it before their expiry date. That is what I admire in winning managers, whether it is Sir Alex, whether it is Jose Mourinho. These guys know when the player's time is done, and they will just get rid of them. They don't care about what you've done or how much fans love you. They will say bye. Whether it's Beckham at his prime, go off to Real Madrid. See you later. Yap Stam, you said something in your book. All right, peace out. Ruud van Nistelrooy, you don't want to work with Cristiano Ronaldo. You don't want to work with Ronaldo. See you later, mate. Even though you got like 33 goals last season. That's what you've got to have. You've got to have someone ruthless. That's what winners do. Winners do that. They don't care about personal relationships. They will get it done. And that's what I want in the next coach, man. Random guy. Warnock seen driving up there. Could you imagine Warnock again now? Warnock's had enough of Leeds, man. I read Warnock's book. He's had enough of Leeds. He would never come back here, I talked to Sharon, I've said, well, I got one more in me, Sharon. I got one more. No, I don't think it's happening. Christian here, Tuchel, Park, who out there is Prem proven. Again, it's not about Prem proven, it's about who's the best coach for the job. You know what I mean? Yeah, Karen, I like ruthless managers. They get the job done. People don't like them, and they're polarizing, but they win stuff. They win stuff. For me, at the moment, the best English coach is Eddie Howe, and he's doing amazing things with Newcastle, and he has a chance to win something with Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. But generally, foreign managers are the best managers. They are. There's no English manager has won the league in the Premier League. It's again, that's not opinion, that's facts. So yeah, to me, it doesn't matter if they're English, foreign, just as long as they're the right guy. Steve Bruce, you guys, man. Let me just see what else is there. What else is there? Yeah, there's not really much else to say on this one. I don't think there's anything else to say. Yeah, I think I've said it all. So this is on you guys now. I'm willing to stay a bit longer, get your thoughts and comments in, because obviously this is huge news. Huge news. Yeah, once again, let's just keep reiterating it. No Lampard or Gerrard. No, thank you. No, thank you. Ryan Gadd with the super chat. Thank you, Ryan. Fans buzzing, players fighting for their places, different tactics. We take that all day. And again, that's another good thing as well, Ryan. Players fighting for their places. The players didn't give up on Jesse. It just wasn't happening under him. There's a difference when you, again, compared to last year with under Marcelo, players have packed it in. They packed it in, and then you hear the stories about some of them wanting different training, not happy with the training anymore, not wanting to play in certain positions anymore. The players had given up, and again, that would be another red mark going against Bielsa, even thinking about coming back. The players were still fighting. I just think now with a different manager, different voice, maybe that kind of, you know what it is, people. It's like I liken it to working in an office, because if you worked in an office or any other sector of life, I've had it in an office before where you've had a manager that is full of hot air. He talks the talk, but then when you're seeing the work being done, it's like it's not matching up to what he's saying, and then even you lose belief in it. And that's probably what's happened with Jesse Marsch. It really is. It really is. Oh no. Some of these shouts. Oh my gosh. Sam saying Click seems to be celebrating. Well, he would celebrate, didn't he? Because he wasn't getting played, but it was rightly so. Want to talk about being cutthroat. Click shouldn't have been here this January. He should have been gone 2 years ago. He hasn't been good since the first month and a half since we got promoted. But listen, you're always going to celebrate when you're not being played by the manager, no matter what's being said publicly about him loving Clicky, Clicky and all that. Yeah, you're not going to like a manager that doesn't play you. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. People want us to go forward, but then talking about can we get clickback? I mean, just you want to get results, but then you want to bring back players that aren't good enough. Yeah, make it make sense. And I always make it clear here. I'm a Leeds United fan. I'm not Marcelo Bielsa FC fan. I'm not Mateus Click fan. I'm not bloody Alioski fan. He doesn't even get mentioned on here now. He's in the Chris Benoit Hall of Fame for not being mentioned anymore. That's where he is now. You just got to move on, man. People just don't want to move on. And even Andy here is still gonna shout, find David O'Leary. And as much as I love David O'Leary, I'm not thinking about David O'Leary of coming back again. You have to move on. But some people just find it hard to do, and that's fair enough. Listen, we all enjoy football different ways. Some people actually don't care about winning. And I had a good comment. I had an interesting comment from someone yesterday who has supported Leeds for 65 years, I think he said. And he says, no matter what, we'll still be here next week and still loving the club. And he's right. That's what happens. And some people just love the club game by game. They don't care about trophies or winning. But I am somebody that does want to see my club lift a trophy. I do. Even seeing us lift the championship trophy was a buzz for me. You know what I mean? That was a buzz. When we went down to League One, I wanted to win the auto windscreen shield. I wanted to win that, whatever it's called, the Johnson's Paint Trophy. I wanted it. I did. But some people don't care about that, and people can enjoy football the way they want to. Of course, some people use it as a social thing as well, where they just see their friends. Fair enough. Fair enough. Scrib saying Thomas Frank. Yeah, he's not leaving Brentford. I think he just signed a new 5-year contract with Brentford, didn't he? I think he just signed a new 5-year contract, and also as well, I don't like the way he chews gum. That would jar me. I hope it's someone with bad chewing skills. I'd have to watch it like this. But no, he's a good coach. You got to give credit to him. He does what he does well. But you talk about style of football. He plays back to front, and it sounds like Leeds fans don't really want to see that. But that's exactly what Thomas Frank does. Mm, let's have a look. No one's asking for Hakaday. No one's asking for Hakaday. Oh man, what a day! What a couple of days! What a couple of days, man! And then we've got what? Will we even have a press conference tomorrow? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But we'll talk about the Man United game tomorrow. We'll preview that tomorrow, people, for sure. Jason saying Spartan KG talk the talk, people. Yeah, listen, gotta love your club, but you got to see it from a football point of view as well. You got to see it from a football point of view as well, not just from your club. Uh, I've seen this around. Has anyone else seen this? Angus Kinnear sack too. Is that just Twitter rumors, people? Is it? You know what? Twitter is actually hell right now. I'll be honest, because it always defaults to the For You page for me, and I'm seeing things that I've got real no interest in seeing. No interest in seeing. I just don't want to see a lot of stuff on Twitter except for what I follow. But it seems to be a hard thing for Twitter to concept, man. It's a hard concept to follow. Listen, I'm going to say I'm not going to speak on Angus Kinnear being sacked because I don't see anyone credible saying it. So we'll just leave that for now. If anything occurs, then we'll talk about it, of course. Uh, but yeah, listen. You know what? Have we got anything else, people? Have we got anything else? No, Dave. Certainly not. No. No, thank you. I know he's local, but no. Uh, oh, somebody just asked me. You know what, Raj? You're asking me about. I believe it's Knutson. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know anything about him, Raj, so I really can't give an opinion on him. So I know there's you're not the only one. I've seen a lot of people mention his name, but I don't know anything about him. So yeah, I can't say too much. If someone said Scott Parker, um, the board won't go for him. Did you see how he left Bournemouth? He's going to have trouble, much like Chris Wilder. Chris Wilder got a job in Middlesbrough eventually, but Scott Parker basically threw his board under the bus. No one's going to really touch him. Much like fans talk, much like players talk, owners talk amongst themselves. I don't think Scott Parker. I think isn't Scott Parker somewhere else? I swear he's at Bruges or somewhere. But regardless, in terms of Premier League, Scott Parker isn't coming back. He threw the board under the bus after the 9-0 loss against Liverpool. It's not happening. Villas Boas, no, 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 thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, he is at Bruges. I thought so. Lewis, Penguin score prediction, no. Probably a loss. We're not good this season. And much like Leeds have made a change, I feel like owners need to make a change at GM level, because our GM is doing absolutely nada, and the team needs work. So we'll see. Let's have a look. I'm just going through your comments just to see if there's anything else that we haven't already touched on. Abstract. Okay, going back to the Bielsa thing. Like I say, this is the last Bielsa kind of stream, people. So enjoy it while you can. Abstract is saying because Bielsa with this squad is totally different. That's why. There's no evidence to say that, though, is there? There's literally no evidence to say that. He would still go with his man-to-man thing, and is that going to work with the players that we've got right now? I'd probably say no. And once again, some of these players that are still here down tools on Bielsa, so I just don't think it makes any sense again. But that is just my piece on Bielsa. I'll be glad once the stream's over and we can put that to bed. P. Morton saying Big Sam, no, thank you, no, thank you. Man, but yeah, listen, people. I think that is it for the stream today. Obviously, anything else comes up, please put it in the comments. Put all your thoughts in the comments after the video is done. Please like the video. Best way to help the channel. It's free to do, and it's just helping the channel out. Listen, the last, I would say, month and a week, the support on the channel has been amazing, absolutely amazing. So a big thank you to everyone that keeps tuning in, keeps coming to hear me ramble about the club Leeds United, and we revel in it together, whether you're here at home, abroad, international. We all come together in this community and we talk it out, and that's the great thing about this forum. So listen, people, there's not much else for me to say, so I'm going to leave it there. Like and subscribe, drop your comments in, and I'll see you tomorrow for the preview for the Man United game. That should be fun. I look forward to it. Peace out, people. Enjoy your evening.